Arda Ocal with ESPN. Happy to be joined by Bray Wyatt, who will be challenging Braun Strowman for the WWE Universal Championship this Sunday at SummerSlam that is taking place inside the ThunderDome. I don't think I would ever have thought that I would say that, Bray, but here we are. SummerSlam is taking place inside the ThunderDome. What was your first reaction when you heard that WWE was creating a ThunderDome?
Well, the first thing I thought about, that popped in my brain got me feeling like 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, Man, how wild does that sound, Like, it's like, I can't wait to see what it looks like and what it is, because it just sounds so freaking intimidating, like something brand new that I've never seen before. I love that. And it's exciting, exciting.
So all we've heard about it so far, and of course, we're going to get to see it on SmackDown this Friday, but basically, we've been told that it's an enhanced live experience with lasers, pyrotechnics, some would call it ballyhoo, LED screens with fans on the screens, etc. So basically, this looks like an interactive experience. And I want to know, as a performer that has basically been in the Performance Center for the last several months, not necessarily with fans or paying ticket holders. Now they have a chance to interact. So how much are you looking forward to having that element back?
Well, I can just be honest, and just, if I'm speaking as me, man, I miss the fans. Like, oh, Lord, do I miss the fans. Like, having them and screaming and yelling, whether they love or hate you, blah, 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 man, it's just, it's brought a different feeling to this. And it's also brought a different approach as to the things you would do and the things you would try, so it's been this wonderful, like, creative experience without them, but I'm happy to have them back in whatever capacity we can have them back in, so I'm pretty pumped.
So actually, one of your former competitors, even at WrestleMania, John Cena, actually had a lot of praise for you and said, of 2 of the superstars that I would point to that really shined in that era of no audience, Bray Wyatt is certainly one of them. What do you make of that praise?
John's such a sweet guy, isn't he? What a sweet guy that John Cena is. What a sweet, sweet guy. But it's, I've been through so much with John Cena. It's amazing to me to see him, from what the star he always was, turned into this gigantic movie star, and John is very much the type of person you have to earn his respect. Because he doesn't just give it. He's very forward that way, And so hearing that praise, for me and Seth, is a big deal because, like I said, John is this huge star, and that's a milestone, for me, in my legacy, and I think it's pretty neat.
While we're speaking a little bit out of character here, Bray, I'd love to hear about WrestleMania and how you look back on that match and whatever you're able to tell us on how that match was put together.
It's pretty wild, really. Like, when I came into the arena, it was like I stepped through a door and then, I'm not kidding, 48 hours just erased my mind. And it was like I teleported to another place in time. It was pretty wild, dude. From what I remember, it was pretty wild.
How much are cinematic matches important to you? How many more of those kind of presentations would you like in your future matches?
Well, I think they're fun and all, but like I said, I like being around the people more, and those things, they should be select. There should be a few here and there, and that's what keeps them special. Especially after the humdinger that Undertaker and AJ Styles put together, because that thing's close to undefeatable. So, look, to be fair, it had Undertaker and AJ Styles in it, but it's something that you get to approach differently. So it's wonderful for your creativity, but they should be finite.
Well, listen, the ThunderDome is coming, starting SmackDown, basically a mini residency, at least as far as we know. Tons of events happening at the ThunderDome, including SummerSlam this Sunday. So let's talk about SummerSlam. When you look back on SummerSlam, you've had quite a few matches, definitely against Finn Balor. Now you're having one against Braun Strowman. How do you look back on your SummerSlam matches? Do you have any favorites of your own?
I can remember the one where actually Bray debuted, and a pretty interesting one where it was Bray versus Kane in a Ring of Fire, and that one, watching it, if you watch the other Ring of Fire matches and things like it, you will notice that in that match, the flames shot up twice as high as they do in any of the other matches. So that one was a real towering inferno, and one of the most uncomfortable situations you could possibly be put in as a sports entertainer. Yeah, go back and look now that I said it. It was about the closest thing you could be to boiling alive, like a crawfish.
What was your reaction when you heard that you'd be in a match where the ring would be surrounded by fire and you could possibly catch fire?
To be honest, in your youth, I don't think he's afraid of anything. It was like a wonderful chance where you get to fight against Kane, who is an icon. And I don't think there was any fear then. And there still isn't. But, back then it was freshness, I'll do anything kind of scenario.
So you are challenging Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. You are no stranger to Braun Strowman, nor are you a stranger to top championships in WWE. What does it mean for you? Like, just take us through the last even 6 months of Bray Wyatt, where you're experiencing this incredible career resurgence, and now here you are, solo on a SummerSlam poster, challenging for the championship at the second biggest pay-per-view that many would say of the year. What's it like? How does it feel?
It's definitely the second biggest. SummerSlam is very close to what I would say WrestleMania feels like, especially nowadays. Braun is someone that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I always will. I can remember when he was new, and he was this gigantic presence that I'd never seen anything like him. Not walking the streets, not even NFL guys. Braun has this aura around him, and being able to go into this match, him versus the Fiend, is something that is something that I would have looked forward to if I'd known about it 10 years ago. Like, this is a full circle thing for him and the Fiend and I, and it's a beautiful thing. It's something that all of us will be able to take with us the rest of our lives and be able to reminisce upon. And it's going to be this grueling, horrible battle that we're probably both going to come out handicapped from, and whatever the ThunderDome looks like, who knows what's in there? Because the one I remember had chainsaws hanging down from the ceiling and stuff. So it's going to be challenging, but something beautiful.
Now, Bray, not to pull the curtain too much, but you are a true student of the game, right? Wrestling is in your blood, it's in your lineage, so you are definitely someone that people admire based on how much you love this craft and how much you've put into this craft over the years, especially in WWE. And Braun Strowman is somebody who's coming from another realm, who has picked up wrestling quite well, and now you're finding yourself in this situation. Like, you talked a little bit there about his progression there, and now you guys are meeting in this big matchup. Are you impressed by how he was able to, it wasn't natural to him to immediately click with WWE. So, like, are you impressed with how much he's been able to grow as a performer over the years?
Honestly, Braun is, like I said, he was huge. And the things he's done to his body to make it more conducive to the impact he has to take is wonderful, because he knows how to do that. And he looks like a Greek god, in human form. But as far as emotionally, Braun has always had this knack for being able to be applicable to any audience he's in. He has a fire, a personality that's addictive. He's big, he's wild, he's country, and people love and understand it. And like I said, seeing him and getting to this point where it's going this Sunday is going to be something that we both are happy with the rest of our lives. Granted, hoping that we both walk out of there,
So SummerSlam 2020, this is actually the 33rd SummerSlam event. Like I mentioned, you're on the poster by yourself as the Fiend. and you'll be facing Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship this Sunday inside the Thunderdome. There's a mini residency, as I mentioned, several events coming up for WWE inside the Thunderdome. Can't wait to see that.
Me too.
My last question, yeah, especially with the fans there. My last question for you, Bray, is this has been a surreal several months for WWE and for you as a performer. Just everything that's going on, no fans, creative directions, etc. Like, when have you taken a second to think about it all? Like, how will you look back on this quote era unquote of WWE shows and programming, and in particular your involvement when you think about this, say, in 5 years?
Dude, that's an incredible question. And at first it was, it was terrifying. I want to go travel the world, and I want to see all the things I'm used to and be in huge auditoriums with thousands of people. And when it came, it was just quickly changed. It was like, oh my goodness, what is this going to be like? But from there, it has opened up these opportunities and a chance to completely think about this thing with a different approach, that no one could have had a chance to do before. So it's like the more I've gotten into it, and I've gotten comfortable with the restrictions, it's made me be more creative with how I approach everything. And I feel like it was, I was tailor-made for this situation. And when they look back on it, throughout my career, this was the time that Bray Wyatt took the sword and marched on and, made his career iconic. This little portion, no matter what I've done before, this is when I took the sword and I marched us forward. And I'm pretty proud of what's come of it so far. And I'm going to be very proud of what comes after this. So that's my approach to this whole thing.
Bray Wyatt joining us here on ESPN. Thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.